Welcome to The Inside Story. I'm Billy Hallowell, and I'm joined by the Christian Post, Brandon Showalter. We are talking all about AI, artificial intelligence, and the moral implications that come along with it. How you doing today, Brandon?
I'm doing great, Billy. Good to be with you.
Well, it's always good to be with you, and you wear many hats, and you're going to be doing an event coming up here. It's called AI for Humanity, Navigating Ethics and Morality for a Flourishing Future. Tell us a little bit about this event.
Yes, this event will be held on October 7th at Colorado Christian University it's kind of between Denver and Colorado Springs, I believe Lakewood or something. Don't know the exact city, but that's where it is. And it's engaging AI and human flourishing, ethics and morality. And the reason for that is that with the proliferation of AI technology and emerging tech, we believe it's very important for Christians to be asking some really important ethical questions in light of how artificial intelligence is already changing the world, perhaps more than we have even realized, and will continue to with breakneck speed. And so we think that because of the emphasis on being for humanity, for human flourishing, uh, that's what's in our mind most important, because left unchecked, artificial intelligence technology will rob and is robbing us of our humanity, and that is a big deal. And so we're going to be insisting upon those critical questions at this seminar in partnership with Glue, which is a sort of the faith ecosystem AI tech platform, and we're partnering with them for a day-long event. Actually, it's an afternoon at Colorado Christian on October 7th. And so people, if they're in that region of Colorado or they want to come, they can go to our events page at Christian Post and find out more. But we've got some really great theological minds and also technologists who are Christians and engaging this space, who are going to be a part of it, where we seek to sort of dive deep and ask these questions about what can we do and what questions can we and must we ask in light of the development of this AI technology, because we think there are some really important things to consider theologically and practically, as this technology continues to take off.
Well, and here's the thing, and I want people to check the event out, as you said, on the events page. You can go to event.christianpost.com and you'll find it there. But as you're sort of looking at this, right, you have organizations like Glue, they're using AI. A lot of Christian organizations are using it. You have some people who say, well, we can't use it at all. We need to avoid it totally. It's evil, it's bad. And obviously, there are implications, as you are going to describe during this event. But how should Christians be looking at this in terms of, is there a middle ground? Obviously, we have Christian groups using it for very good purposes. So just reflect on
Mm-hmm.
that a little bit.
Well, it's kind of an interesting dynamic, because I think with respect to technology more broadly, I've seen this tendency within some Christian circles and churches to just resist it because of how speedily this is all developing, and it sort of makes people's heads swim, and so they become Luddites, if you will. They just sort of become anti-tech. Meanwhile, the world just keeps going, and I remember, perhaps for some context, I can say that a couple years ago I was reporting on artificial intelligence and transhumanism, and was speaking with a pastor who engages these issues, and he was thinking, he was telling me about, the Luddites, who were the textile workers who would destroy the mills, that they thought the technology that was new in that time was going to destroy their jobs. But he said it's important to remember that the Luddites lost. They were not successful, and so the better approach is to bring a distinctly biblically rooted worldview to bear on emerging tech and AI. Now, there are, of course, risks, but I think it behooves us, as we continue to create, to keep things in their proper order. I mean, our executive editor, Dr. Richard Land, one of the things I know that I'm going to be discussing with him, he's going to be on the panel that I'll be proctoring out there in Colorado, is that we have to remember that all of technology, including AI, we are not serving it. It should serve us. And we don't want to become subjects of technology. And especially when we think about, you know, superhumans, or whether it be, genetic engineering or microbots implanted in human brains or that kind of thing, we have to remember that we are not God. God is infinite and perfect. We are finite and imperfect. And so we can make an impressive AI powered machine, but that, like us, still fallen. And the temptation that we, especially as Americans, who were very entrepreneurial, very innovative, we tend to fall into this deceptive trap of thinking that all technological change is positive and it's progress. But as Christians, we have to ask these foundational moral and ethical questions that are at stake, like, is it right or wrong? Why does this matter so much? And when you're kind of piercing the when you penetrate the mind, the human sort of interior process where your cognitive faculties can be overtaken, I mean, it can veer into sort of Tower of Babel territory, Billy. And there's just, if our ability to perceive truth and reality is overtaken by a machine, you don't want to borrow trouble and just live in fear and make everything scary, but you got to ask these questions, because I believe there's something at risk of our humanity here if we completely farm out our brains and our ability to perceive and know truth, and we just allow virtual reality to govern us. I mean, it can get very, very alarming if we don't ask these questions and bring our worldview to bear on this space. And so that's what we're trying to do here with this event, because all truth is God's truth, and technology can indeed be used for evil, but it also can be used for good. But the only way it can be used for good is if we insist upon certain questions being asked, certain ethical parameters being established, um, and if it's oriented toward God, the source of all goodness. So, as it's a daunting task for sure, and it's an area of, I mean, I'm certainly not an AI expert by any means, but we're determined to at least give it our best shot and uh, get our minds around this difficult but exciting space. I mean, there are really exciting things what AI tech can be used to promote the gospel, to translate the Bible into other languages. I mean, it's really the speed at which a lot of really good things can happen is exciting and innovative, and I think the Lord celebrates that. Um, but when in the wrong hands, yeah, it can be pretty dark too.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing, right? Because there's so much you just mentioned translating the Bible. I mean, this idea that the whole world, Jesus commanded Christians
Right,
to go out and spread the gospel to the ends of the earth, and there's still a number of people groups who have never heard the gospel or who don't have
right,
access to a Bible in their language. AI has the capability to make that happen very quickly.
very,
But
yes.
as you were saying, on the flip side, in the wrong hands, especially with covering some of the transhumanism issues and all these other things as you have that are happening in the culture, this can be terrifying. And so it's wonderful that the Christian Post is taking the helm of this AI discussion and putting this event together. So many interesting things that I think will come from it. At the end of the day, give us a little information. If people are not able to go in person, will they still be able to have access to this event?
I'm pretty sure we are live streaming that. Don't double check me on that. That's going to, we want people to be able to see this, and I'm sure that we will definitely be covering it and writing more about this issue. And this is not the last you're going to hear from the Christian Post on AI tech. So yeah, check out our events page for more information. We're doing another event on gender ideology here soon, September 24th down in Fort Lauderdale. That will be live streamed. But the one on AI that we're speaking about today is taking place, again, as I said, on October 7th. And you'll see both of those events on our events page, events.christianpost.com. So more information can be found there about how you can be a part of both of those events.
Very good. And yes, I'm just checked as we're having this conversation. When you go to register for the AI for Humanity event, you can register for live stream access if you cannot
Ah,
get there
very
in
good.
person.
Yep.
So that will be great for people to check that out. At the end of the day, just final question, when people are done attending this event, what are you hoping they're equipped with?
I really hope that they will be equipped with the knowledge that, as daunting and as maybe even terrifying as this technology may seem, because the rapidity with which this is developing, I think, takes a lot of us by surprise. I'm sort of an older millennial, and I'm still I still remember a time before the internet was in school. For So a lot of older generations are just they feel so overwhelmed by just how quickly this is affecting how we live. But I hope that people are equipped with the tools to know that if you stay anchored in God's word and you force the first order, foundational, theological, moral, and ethical questions, those will be really necessary and helpful guardrails and grounding that will ground you in how to begin thinking about this, because God's character, he never changes. Jesus is the same yesterday, today, and forever. His word stands the test of time, even in a rapidly changing age of technology. It transcends all of that. And so we hope to really anchor people in these first order questions and realities that, okay, God is our North Star. Jesus will never fail. So that's always true, even when there are forces at work trying to distort our perception of reality like never before. And so I hope people will feel encouraged that, yes, you can bring the resources of your faith to bear on these issues that may seem far out there and you don't even know how to begin to think about it. But I hope that we can encourage people to at least get started, because these issues certainly aren't going away. I'm here in D.C., where policymakers and lawmakers are engaging AI very heavily. There's been massive investments. The First Lady, Melania Trump's been doing a presidential AI initiative with kids. I mean, this is life, whether you like it or not. And so we're forcing those questions, and we're encouraging everyone to do the same. And we believe that there are indeed some exciting opportunities how the Holy Spirit may use AI technology for the advance of the kingdom. So we hope to encourage people with that as well.
Well, I so appreciate you taking the time. Again, people can head over to event.christianpost.com and they can register for AI for Humanity. Brandon Showalter, appreciate your time today.
Thanks, Billy.
Everyone else, make sure you head on over to the Christian Post, register for that event, and read all the news you need to read. We'll be back next week with another episode of the show.